How's it going, everybody? My name's Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. I'm a full-time 7-figure Amazon seller, and if you are a fan of the channel, you can probably tell I'm not in my usual place. I actually just moved to a new house just across town, but I'm really excited about the move because I was able to upgrade kind of my living from an apartment to a house, got a backyard, all that kind of stuff right now. But as you can see, the studio is kind of naked. We'll be making it prettier here in the next couple days. But today's video is a really cool one because it's from the interviews that I did back about a month or two ago now at this point. I was able to sit down with some actual Amazon sellers and do some live interviews, really dig in and see exactly what's going wrong in their business or what they need to work on to improve to continue to grow those sales numbers and those profit numbers. And in this video specifically, I talked to one of my friends who's doing about $20,000 a month right now, and he's just looking to get to that next level. We touched on some beginner topics and then some advanced stuff like training VAs. So it's great for any of you guys watching this video looking to grow your Amazon business. But for now, I got to get back to unpacking and making this studio look a lot prettier, so you guys enjoy the interview. How's it going today, Alex?
Pretty good. How are you?
Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so how much are you selling right now?
Last month I did about 20,000. I'm on pace to do maybe a little bit more than that this month.
Cool.
So.
All the way?
Away, yep.
Awesome.
Away all the way.
What's your end game? What's your goal?
Goal is to be transitioned to full-time, doing this full-time, you know, make more than my current salary at my engineering job, and just be able to do this, have more freedom.
Awesome. Yeah, so I mean, you've had some level of success to be doing $20,000 a month. When did you start?
I started probably like February of last year, but only got serious maybe like October of this last year.
Yeah. What is one thing that helped you, like what flipped the switch in October? What was kind of, what'd you figure out?
I think I found out how to source a little bit better.
Sure, yeah.
I was like doing a lot of RA previously, and I was spending so much time, and I would go to, you know, Targets and Walmarts like weekdays after work and get home super late, and it just wasn't efficient use of my time. And I switched to online and, you know, tactical arbitrage. Still spent a lot of time doing that, but I was actually finding, you know, more consistent. I could buy 10 of an item instead of, you know, 2 on a clearance shelf at Target. So it's just more efficiency.
You know, at some point you just ran out of time. It's like, oh, this is a little bit better. Go to OA.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So what's holding you back right now?
Still time. I'm really busy. I own another business. Plus I, you know, have a full-time job. So just finding time to do things. I did hire 2 VAs a couple months ago. And that's been super helpful. But still, you know, like I couldn't look at their leads list for like, you know, 4 or 5 days. So then I got a list of like 60 items to look through. So
with 2 VAs, how good is their lead quality? It seems like with 2 VAs, you should be a little higher than 20K a month.
One of them does a really good job. The other one could definitely do better. And then, so yeah, I've been thinking a lot of like training her more or, you know, honestly replacing her, finding a new one.
In terms of that, I would usually give a VA like 4 to 6 weeks to improve if they're not at standard. Coach them 2, maybe 3 times after they've gone through all your documents, stuff like that. If they're still not good, then it's probably a them thing. But at some point, you don't want to like hire someone they're immediately not great and it's like, oh, they're a bad VA, because you know, at some point it's the training, some point it's them. So figure out where it's like, all right, I've given them the training to do well, they're not doing well, so I'm going to go ahead and replace them.
I might have misspoke. It's only been 3 weeks since.
Okay.
So it's not quite
okay, so they're well within the so just have a conversation with them about, you know, make a list of the things they're struggling with and talk to them about it. Are you finding that you're running out of stock on stuff really fast, the ones you do buy?
I've been doing a lot of test buying, and I'm trying to come up with like a replen list or just a list of products, and then by the time maybe it's just bad management by me, but by the time I see that the product's selling a lot, you know, I want to reorder, and maybe the price is starting to drop, or I just, you know, I'm not quick enough with the turnaround on replens. I think that would be one thing that would help you grow it, because to me it sounds like you're just not buying enough of the good products you're finding. At this point, you're selling a little bit. You should be able to trust your gut a little bit. Here's a nugget for you guys. On the Keepa offers tab, it'll show you all of the sellers who are on this item currently and were in the past, show you exactly the price it was on which day and how many of those items they sold on that day. So you can use that to see how much the people on the listings who are really crushing it are selling. So check that, because if you see maybe SellerAmp saying it sells 30 times a month, but 6 of the 7 sellers are selling 1 a month because their repricers are bad, or they're not even repricing, or all that kind of stuff, like they're not competitive. You're competing with the people who know what they're doing, right? You're not competing with the guy who's sitting at $25 and like, oh, hopefully next year it sells for $25. So like figure out what the people who are actually selling stuff are selling it for, make sure you can sell it for that price, and then match however much they're buying. That's going to be an awesome way to know like literally exactly
exactly how fast they're selling their stuff. Because yeah, I've seen that a lot too, where, and this is something I tweak in my own business, I don't really place test buys anymore because I'm confident looking at all the data that by the time I buy it and send it in, that opportunity might be gone like 8 to 10 weeks from now, where I'd be restocking it again. And I'm sure you're running into that a lot.
Yeah.
But you would have been able to capitalize on that so much more if you did go a little bit deeper. That said, the inverse of that is it's obviously riskier, because if you buy deeper and then Amazon comes on or price tanks or that kind of stuff, you're going to lose a little bit more money. But that's kind of just the price of scale. If you're really trying to get to the next level, you got VAs, you got, other incomes that you can, worst comes to worst. Like I wouldn't, hopefully it doesn't come to that, but like you've got the capital where it makes sense for you to start making a little bit more riskier plays. And that's what it's going to take to probably get to that next level.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good point. I find myself buying a lot of the test buys, and then by the time I'm ready to replen, I buy it, and then the other people are replenning, and then the price starts to go down, and I'm waiting on capital to replenish.
And that's and a lot of I've seen it. A lot of new sellers are seeing it, where there is increased competition right now. It's only natural over time. There's going to be more and more Amazon sellers, so that's another awesome way to get around that. Where it's like, oh, there's too many Amazon sellers. It's saturated. Just like go all out. Like trust your gut. Sell the products. If it dries up later, that's fine. But you need to be the one who got the opportunity and wasn't too scared to take the opportunity.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So for me, after kind of thinking about what's next or how do I get to that next step, maybe it's hiring more VAs or at least getting more production out of my current VAs. What was your process of going from 1 to 10, or like what was the need for scaling up that quickly?
Yeah. Whenever you are confident in your team members, so you've got one team member you're confident in, you got another one that you're coaching, maybe you're going to replace. If you're confident in your core team and you're like, okay, I am not spending enough money, then it's time to get another virtual assistant. If you're like, okay, I've got one guy I really like, but I have 3 VAs who really aren't that good, then it's like tweak some internal training, replace somebody, like, don't overexpand if the existing system you have kind of has some cracks in it. But yeah, if you like your team and it's time to spend more money, then you go ahead and get another virtual assistant.
Okay. Cool. Do you have a good system for tracking replens? I've started to use the SellerAmp Google Sheet to try to start building a list of things. And I have like a shopping list on Walmart that I check, once a day and see if things are in stock, and then buy. Is there, a good way to, I guess, scale that list? Yeah.
So I use a software called SellerBoard for that. It's not like the greatest tool in the world. I don't really talk about it on YouTube just because I don't love it, but it gives me a brief idea of what's selling. It's a very rough algorithm that says, hey, you sold 50 of this week. Maybe you should buy 200 if you want to be in stock for a month. It just kind of points your eyes and like, oh, this is actually selling pretty well. I need to restock on that. SellerBoard's been good for me so far, but I think I'm letting a lot slip through the cracks at scale, just where it's like, oh, that product I sold 20 of, it might not make that big of a difference, but if I lose 100 products that I was going to sell 20 of, it really adds up. So I've been playing around with that kind of software, but SellerBoard is a nice thing. It kind of just points you what's selling. And if you don't have that many SKUs or ASINs, you could just use the orders tab. That's what I used to do for quite a while. Be like, oh, this is selling 6 today. Let me check the SKU. Oh, I only have 11 left. Let me restock. Which, I see the obvious flaws in that, where it's like, oh, I missed clicking this specific product. But yeah, those are a couple points for you to look out for restocking.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, is going on the orders and looking.
Yeah.
And then obviously you miss things or you order too late, and then the price changes. Last question that I had was, last year, kind of when I got serious, was right like when I should have been buying for Q4. I wasn't really focused on, how powerful Q4 was. So what's kind of your strategy for when to start buying or when to start focusing really on that and stashing capital for that?
Yeah, I was in the same boat in 2020. I didn't really I thought Q4 marketing was kind of just like the gurus hyping it up, but if it's legit.
It's real,
so this year, after having a pretty decent Q4 last year, I'll probably start buying significantly in beginning of October, so that we can get everything shipped in by, early to mid-November, so that we're just super deep. I'll probably go twice as deep as I normally do on beauty, apparel, anything, honestly anything but boring groceries and vitamins and that kind of stuff. Almost everything sells way faster. So I'll just be going way deeper on the stuff that I am selling. And I'll also start to look for opportunities like the seasonal stuff where Amazon's going out of stock on things. And that's definitely a more risky strategy, but that went pretty well for me last year. Yeah, but start buying early October, scale up with whatever capital you have in terms of how much risk you want to take. If you've got 200 grand, you can risk a lot more than if you've got, 10 grand to invest in Q4.
Sure.
But yeah, make sure you're shipping anything you want into FBA by mid-November at the latest. That way it's there. Because I've seen the most sales during Q4. I mean, it makes sense, December 15, maybe even December 10 through 2022, right before Christmas. So as long as you have as much as humanly possible stocked up there, that's how you're going to crush Q4 as best as possible.
Awesome. Thanks for the tips.
Cool. Yeah. Glad to have you, Rox.
Yep.